As you incorporate music theory, new information, new theoretical truth to the guitar, and you start to incorporate those constructs, you must also cultivate your capability to recall them visually when you actually need to call on them and use them. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today I'm going to show you a very, very simple exercise. We're just going to play the major scale on a single string from the nut to the 12th fret. It's a very, very simple idea. It's a fundamental sort of, you could call this pedantically fundamental, right? It's like if you spent any time with the Mel Bay books, you remember this from book 1. Painful. That wasn't in there, but it's a painful memory, right? It's painful because even though that's a fundamental, simple exercise, when you were learning it, you had no information, you had no experience, you had no background. Now, you can play songs, you can play scales, you can play chords, and you understand a lot more. Going back to this fundamental exercise, it will pay massive dividends because it's never been about how well you can play scales, and it's always been about how much you know about the fretboard. So now that you know much more, when you do this, you will have a profound experience that this simple little exercise actually stitches together information, disparate information all over the neck, and it does it extremely effectively. Okay, I seem a little worked up. That's because I'm excited about this. All right, let's get started. Major scale on a single string. Sounds simple, probably is. I'm going to show you that it's more valuable and profound than it sounds like it will be. We're going to be in the key of A today. Ta-da! And we're going to map this scale on each string from the nut to the 12th fret. And it's going to sound like this. I'm just going to show you what we're after and then we'll get to it. It's going to sound like this. Pretty simple, pretty easy. We're going to use 3-note groupings just because it's more musical than not. Okay, A major. So the very first thing we need to do is to figure out how to map that architecture out, right? Vertically it looks like that, and I understand that, but here there's half steps and whole steps. The major scale is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step, what? Okay, that's a lot of to remember. If you're a fan of this channel, you know what I'm about to do. I'm going to tear all that stuff down and I'm just going to get the smallest piece of information that I'm going to need to complete this task. When I was listening to myself about the whole steps, I noticed that there are only 2 half steps because I went whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Sounds like the major scale really is just a bunch of whole steps with 2 half steps in it. I think that's correct. I'm just going to give you another clue. The half steps occur between the 3rd and the 4th, and the 7 in the root. Let's prove that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 3 and 4, and 1 and 7. 7 and 1. Okay, we're armed with everything we need. When we get to the 3rd, it's going to be a half step. When we get to the 7, it's going to be a half step. Everything else is whole steps. Let's give it a shot. Here we are in the A string. This is the 1. We're not going to worry about what fret we're on. We're not even going to care what note we're playing. Well, there will be one moment when we care, and that's coming up. But for now, we don't care about the frets. We don't care about the notes. We just want to see the relationship. Here we are. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, root. That was pretty easy. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7 root. Not bad. Not too hard to sort of get your head around. Let's just go to the next string. That's the D string. Uh-oh, wait a minute. That's not A. What am I doing? What's happening? What relationship am I on? Let's just calm down. A, B, C, D. We're on the 4. Oh, we're on the 4. The 4, the 3rd, and the 4th are a half step apart. I'm already on the 4. That means if we had a few more frets, the 3rd would be back here. Silly little guitar without enough frets for me to expose the fact that there's a half step back there. Who's in charge now, you green monster? Here's the 4. 4, 5, 6. It's all whole steps, right? 5, 6, 7. 6, 7, 1. Oh, we're back to the root again. Oh, but we still got to get to the 12th fret. 7, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. There's that half step that we know also occurred back here if we had another fret. Pretty cool. Next string is G. Uh-oh, what's the relationship? Oh my gosh. Let's figure it out. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It must be the 7. The 7 and the root are only a half step apart. That doesn't sound too good. What's going on? Let's go back to our scale and just check some things out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's not a G at all. That's a G sharp. I can't use the G string open. I gotta use this. Huh. New piece of information. Maybe I already knew that. Maybe I never saw it this way. G sharp is the 7. 7, 1, oh look. There's my root again. That's kind of nice to just make a little connection. All right, back on track. 7, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. I don't need that G right there. In fact, it's not even in the key. Pretty cool. What's the next string? B. That sounds pretty easy. A, B. We're on the 2nd. Okay, everything's a whole step apart until I get to the 3rd. 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 1, 7, 1, 2. Pretty cool. Let's go to the next one. E. A, B, C, D, E. I'm on the 5. 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 1, 7, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. E, 5. Pretty cool. Okay, gonna go back to the D string and do that one more time, but now we're just gonna look at it with one more piece of information that we hopefully already know. We're gonna look at these 3 strings, D, G, and B, and we're gonna put our A triads on here. And then we're gonna go back and look at the D string and just look at some relationships. Here's our A root position triad on that set of strings, D, G, and B. It's 7, 6, 5. Our first position triad on that same set of strings for A is 11, 9, 10. And our second inversion triad is over here on 2, 2, 2. Okay? Now, back to the D string. Where are we again? A, B, C, D. We're on the 4. 4, 5. Oh, look. This is a 5th on the bottom. This chord has the 5th on the bottom. That's kind of cool. 5, 6, 7, 1. Oh, yeah. Root on the bottom. I knew that, but I didn't ever get to it from this place. That's cool. I know what's going to happen next. Root 2, 3. Oh, root 2, 3, and this is 3rd on the bottom. Sorry, got a little carried away there. But see, I'm looking at relationships and I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the key of A and it's all sort of happening for me. It's all like exposing itself to me. I don't even know what notes I'm playing, right? I'm making those relationships the primary thing I'm looking at. Okay, one more thing before we go, and that is, yep, the good old pentatonic scale, minor pentatonic, A minor pentatonic. Let's try this whole thing with the A minor pentatonic scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pentatonic. Okay, well, what's the architecture here? I'll tell you right off the bat, there are no half steps in this scale. Okay, we got a minor third here. And then we got this. What's that? That's that's a whole step. That doesn't look like a whole step to me, friends. This does, but that doesn't. That's why this vertical stuff, it hides these relationships. Minor third, whole step, whole step. Now what's this? Oh, that's a minor third as well. Minor third, whole step, minor third, whole step. Let's try it out. A, minor third, whole step, minor third, whole step. Sweet! You see how they're more than just the scale? This is much more about stitching information together, right? And allowing that linear view to break up the sort of fog of the vertical view. You start doing this stuff, you start looking at the guitar like this, and your understanding of the mechanism and of the structure of this changes and improves instantly. Like it happens right now. Okay, who knew that playing the major scale on a single string, like the most simple idea ever, could be so enlightening, right? It turns out it is. As guitar players, we are so vertically inclined. This instrument is designed to be played vertically, so you can play more notes together at once. It's polyphonic. You can, play across the strings. It's designed to do this. But look at this. Here's A major again. What interval is this? Right? 7th fret E string to 4th fret A string. It's a whole step. That doesn't look like a whole step to me at all. This looks like a whole step. Right? This information is hidden in the vertical. In the linear, it's all exposed. It's super easy to see like a piano. It's just like brilliantly glowing, right? But in the vertical, it's all hidden. So when you look at the guitar from a vertical standpoint and from using a linear lens, it all becomes holistic, right? And taking information that you already know and putting it on the guitar in an unusual way is like, being on a new street in your neighborhood and passing by your favorite taco stand and going, I had no idea I could get here this way. Like, oh my goodness. Next time you're on that street, you're 2 blocks away, you're like, oh, the taco stand is coming up. And then 3 weeks later, when your friend is like, hey, 5th Avenue is closed, how do you get to the taco shop? You're like, take a left on 7th. That's how you get there. Like suddenly you've got more context to the information you already have. And let's reflect again on that D string example. We're starting on the 4th. We realize that the 3rd, if we had some more frets, we could play it, right? Suddenly we're in a position where our brain is looking at this and the limitations like, wow, if we had more frets, we could do some more stuff over there. And if we had more strings, we could certainly play longer scales. Now we're in charge, right? We've got this thing in a headlock rather than it saying, dude, you're out of ideas. Now what are you going to do? Do you have any idea what you're doing? We flip that around simply with this simple exercise. And we say, our brain is in control. Look, I've tabbed this out. It's on Patreon. Any help over there and support is so greatly appreciated. It's what fuels this whole thing for me. But here's the secret sauce. You don't need tabs for this because it's so simple. Here's the challenge. Take every scale around the circle of fifths on each string like this once in your lifetime, and it will change your life forever and immediately. It's true. It's absolutely true. You don't need to do this. Take every scale around the circle of fifths on every string 6 times a day for a week. Do it once in your lifetime. once, and it will change the way you look at this thing forever. Okay, go forth, you curious guitarist, and look at this instrument in a new way every chance you get. And I hope it changes the way you look at this instrument fundamentally, because it's such a beautiful thing. And I hope this brings you great value. Okay, I'll see you next time.